Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 16th of 2025. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning. Right now it is close to 7 a.m. right now. And, I just woke up. I was like, I'm awake. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I did a few things and now I'm on my walk. I'm on my beautiful walk. A couple things I wanted to share with you. And just the timing is so perfect, I have to say. So this morning, I get up, I do my little drink concoction that I like, that my friend told me about. It helps my microbiome. I drink my pour over coffee that I love. Actually, it tastes really bad, but it gets me where I want to go, right? And I'm scrolling a little bit thinking, why am I scrolling right now? Why am I not spending time with God, my creator, my guides, all of that. And most people who listen to this will know what I'm saying. You can resonate with that. But I came across a reel of Pamela Anderson. Now, most of you know who Pamela Anderson is. And for years, she was like an 80s girl. She was very made up and all that. And now she's on this kick of being natural. And she shares on this little short that she was actually at some Paris fashion thing. And she went completely, I don't know if it's completely no makeup, but the woman basically had no makeup on. And at first she had to, our instinct is, oh my gosh, let's not compare ourselves. I don't want to compare myself. And she brought herself into check and she's like, you know what? This is me. This is what I'm doing right now. She doesn't really care what anybody thinks. And I think that is so empowering. So, as I'm on my walk this morning, and I'm thinking about how eventually I did take some time, I went into silence. And then I listened to a podcast that Kathy Heller did with Gary Zukav. And it opened my eyes. So when I'm on my walk, and I think I want to share all this because I had this major download on my walk, I thought if Pamela Anderson can go to some Paris deal, some gig in Paris about fashion with no makeup on, I can surely do a quick video to the many that will watch this. So anyway, back to the podcast. So this Gary Zukav guy is talking about now living authentically, right? And that's kind of a buzzword right now, living authentically. But Kathy Heller was like, what does that mean? Tell me what exactly to you, Gary Zukav, does that mean? And he says, and I'll do my best to paraphrase, but I definitely suggest that you pull up, it came out today, which I've already told you it's December 16th. Kathy Heller, Kathy is spelled with a C. Heller, Heller, Gary Zukav, it's 43 minutes. Listen to it, but here's the gist if you want to get your juices flowing here. So what he talks about is that first of all, he talks about the opposite of love is fear. It's not anger, it's not anything but fear. And so what has happened is that I guess I can just talk from my own experience in life, right? But I think that we kind of all have the same common denominator, how we react, how we respond. So he says that When our scared, frightened parts come up from, he doesn't use the word trigger, but I'm going to, a triggering situation, then we are acting from a point of fear, which has its own consequences, right? But if we act from a place of love, which is understanding, compassion, contentment, understanding, things like that, right? Then those also have consequences, right? But now what's happening is that so in order to live authentically, it is to stop when that scared or frightened part comes up and then make a choice. What choice do I want to choose? To act from fear, or do I want to stop, pause, go through a little, maybe I need to breathe to actually get to that point of feeling the love, and then act from love and then experience those consequences, right? So I just found it so fascinating that the last video I did, if you happen to watch it, I said, oh my God, I've been in my head. Like, I'm telling you, the last couple weeks has been what I now realize, me living from those scared, frightened parts of me. And they're not little. He talks about, these are not little. No, these are big. These feelings, that in my past I have shoved down, like, no, I can't feel that, It was either like, I shouldn't feel that, throw a bunch of light and love on it, or I react from it. Ooh, there's the sun. Isn't it pretty? So what he talks about is being aware. That's another term that's very popular now, is living in awareness, right? So when something happens to us, or not even to us, we just see something and then maybe jealousy or envy pops up, or anger, or why did she say this, or why didn't she say that, or he, or whatever the situation is. When we are aware, we can then stop and identify in our body, which I've had lots of training on this, so I don't know why all of a sudden it's just now feeling like it's coming together. But stopping, where is it in our body? Bringing love and understanding to that part, that scared, frightened part that is showing up in our body, giving it what it needs. And then having a choice, making the choice. What consequence do I want to feel? Do I want to have the consequences from acting out of love? Or do I just want to say, fuck it, I'm going to act out of my big, scared, frightened part, right? Because really, it's our choice. And a lot of people, including myself, really sometimes I don't want to think that it is my choice. I want to come from a place of victimhood, like it's not my fault, and blame. And honestly, that is the difference between living authentically and not living authentically. I can't think of, living out of fear, living out of the frightened parts of us, or living authentically through love. Now, we are going to fall in and out of this. This is not like a recipe for perfection by any means. There is absolutely no way living on this earth, especially at this time with all of this extra energy, from the cosmos, flooding our physical body, right? Our mental body, our spiritual body, I mean, there's just no way. Like, so I have to get like the perfection notion completely out of my head. Okay. So all I can do is be better. So that's a long way around the block to get you to my walk and the download. So I'm walking and I get to see the sun come up. So I'm walking and I'm facing west. And you know, if you've ever seen the sun rise, it's a little bitty peep and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Slowly. Well, I closed my eyes, but I left them a little bit cracked. And I saw the most beautiful, like, it looked like a kaleidoscope. My friend bought me a kaleidoscope when she was on a trip and everything. And it looked like a kaleidoscope, like the beautiful colors of orange and of course, yellow and even some dark colors in there. And the way it kind of looked like a keyhole, right? It went like a keyhole and then it went down like that. And I don't know, I was just like, it was just reverence, right? And it's so funny because now that I think about it, I'm actually walking at a park called Reverence Park. So anyway, that was a gift. And then, so I did that and I continued walking, and then all of a sudden, like, this epiphany came to me. But really it was another like term that's being, I don't know, tossed around right now is a download. And I truly feel like it was a download. And it connected to the talk with Gary Zukav about, the consequences. And I pictured the ocean, right? And how all of creation, and I'm part of creation, I visualized it as the ocean and the waves. And so the wave going to the shore, right? And then me collecting that wave, and how am I going to react? And how am I going to send back into the ocean a response that is from fear, being scared, being frightened, being insecure? Because what's going to come back at me is going to be the consequence. So the ebbs and flow of the wave, what am I going to send out? What is going to come back to me? What am I going to send out? What is going to come back to me, right? And then the ripple effect from that, right? So it's not just me that it affects. So if I send something out that is from fear, a consequence related to that is going to come back at me, and then I'm going to do it again, and then it's going to ripple out to those around me, right? But the same can be true if I get that wave from the ocean and then I send back to the ocean as it recedes back something from a place of love or compassion. Then what is that ripple effect going to be? Right? And I don't know, man. So like I'm on this walk and I'm thinking, okay, I had my hood on before and I was like, okay, like if I do this video, I know Pamela Anderson wouldn't care, but I'm going to take the hood off and I'm going to go up on this berm from this beautiful walk that I'm on, and I'm going to do this video. And I'm going to share it when it feels fresh, when it feels like I'm on fire about it, you know? And my hope is that you take this epiphany and that it comes to you like a wave of love. I don't know why I'm getting all choked up now. Anyway, and that the other part of the epiphany was that the last couple weeks when I was like living in the fear and the feeling of complete alone, like all, I can't even like list it all. It was just like bam, 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 bam of all of these things, you know, because we are in a time of still shedding, because on Friday there's going to be the new moon in Sagittarius into a new year, right? It's going to be our last new moon of 2025. And I was like, Leanne, you got to shed this shit so that you can start fresh in this new year, right? So I look back and I mean, it was a dark period for me. It was very dark. But as I'm on this walk, I'm thinking, because of this Gary Zukav talk, at a perspective, right? A perspective that I can adopt of these last couple weeks, that they have been the best gift that I could ever have asked for. Because these old things, even the things that I thought I worked through, have come up again for me to shine light on and not shove down, not try to change, but give it what it needs, and then come from a place of love so that I can ripple out, and that I don't have to believe the lies of, you don't have anything useful to share, you don't, you know, you have to put all your makeup on, you know, are you having a good hair day, are you, you know, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? It just goes on and on and on. And it's just a gift. Like, it was a gift. But let me tell you, as I went through it, it did not feel like a gift. It wasn't like packaged in a pretty bow. It didn't have beautiful wrapping. No, it was me in my NASA shirt for 5 nights in a row. It was dishes in the sink. It was crying at the drop of a hat. It was not wanting to do anything, forcing myself to, you know, just on and on. And I just wanted to share that, because we're all human and we're all in this together. And sometimes it could feel like we're not, you know? And I just want you to know that I am here. If you ever need anything, leave a comment. Click the like button if you feel moved to do that. But just know that living this authentic life is going to get us in such a better place. I am wishing you a beautiful, happy day, and wish me luck. I hope that when these scared, frightened parts come up, because they will, that I choose to come from a more loving space. All right. Have a great day.